is like transparency, efficiency, and faster settlement to traditional assets. And on top of that, Ondo uses a multi-chain system to enhance the utility of its offerings. Their main offering, OUSG, has already pulled in over $1 billion. That kind of demand says a lot. People are clearly paying attention to those kind of tokenized treasuries. With OUSG, you get treasury exposure with crypto's flexibility. That provides freedom from the arbitrary time restrictions that have limited investors for decades. This is really about putting control back in the hands of the users. And there's also USDY, which is Ondo's version of what you'd call a yield coin. USDY stands out from conventional stablecoins by providing interest accrual. USDY is backed by U.S. treasuries and bank deposits, so it actually earns yield in the background. And it's also on Stellar, which taps into a global payment network that stretches to 180 countries. And that's a pretty big deal. We're talking about making U.S. treasury yields available to people who might have never even had access to dollars, let alone a way to actually earn yield on them. So what if millions of people that are struggling with inflation and currency devaluation could access stable dollar yields without a U.S. bank account? That's the door that Ondo's opening. Ondo's team really brings some serious credibility too. Their president, Justin Schmidt, came from Goldman Sachs, where he headed digital assets. Katie Wheeler came from Circle and is handling partnerships. And now they brought in Patrick McHenry, the former chair of the House Financial Services Committee, as vice chairman of their advisory board. Bringing in somebody with that kind of regulatory depth, especially right now when crypto policy is still being shaped, signals that they're thinking about the long term and playing smart on the compliance side. And the way they're using this multi-chain system is actually pretty sharp too. Using the XRP ledger for OUSG makes a lot of sense. It plays into XRP's strengths around institutional partnerships and built-in compliance features. And then Stellar with USDY fits perfectly into its focus on global payments and reaching folks that have been left out of the financial system. Each chain serves a different purpose, and Ondo's plugging in both to a way that actually lines up with what those ecosystems do best. And for U.S. Treasuries, that's just the starting point. Imagine what happens when corporate bonds, real estate, commodities, and even alternative assets start getting the same treatment. They're going to be tokenized, easier to access, tradable 24/7. It's not hard to picture a future where pretty much any asset you can think of is just a few clicks away no matter where you are. And that's exactly why asset tokenization is going to grow into a multi-trillion-dollar market. It's not just about dragging existing assets onto blockchains, but unlocking a whole new way to use them. Things like fractional ownership, automated payouts, and smart contracts that are tied to real-world value, that all becomes possible. The financial system's evolving through steady, practical changes that make things work better. Faster transactions, lower costs, easier access, and that's the kind of innovation we're seeing right now. And Ondo's giving us a glimpse where everything's going to be headed.